We could survive that. We could survive that. We could survive it. Hello and welcome to We Could Survive That, your survival guide to the movies. I'm Jack, and today I'm joined by a man who's never run a day in his life. It's Chris.
I have several notes from the doctors saying specifically why I cannot run. I have various medical conditions. That means I get worn out very easily, like bending over to pick up a lunchbox and I'm out of breath. I say various medical conditions. It's all just related to one thing, which is I'm incredibly lazy and a slob, and I do not have a good cardiovascular system. But that's my excuse. What's yours?
There's no cure for laziness. What do you mean, what's my excuse? I love to run and be healthy and exercise and stuff. I mean, I don't love it. It's just a thing I have to do.
Since when? When's the last time you ran anywhere?
I ran with the dog this morning, actually. Although that's because we were late going for the walk, so I turned half of it into a gentle jog. Less of a run.
Ah, okay, fair enough. I can't remember. I think I tried to run once down my street for, exercise, and I think I died about halfway through.
Did someone have to scoop you off the pavement and deliver you back to your house?
Yeah, I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. I woke up in bed 3 days later.
That's probably a bit of an exaggeration, isn't it?
It's an exaggeration when I said I went for a run. All I did was stretch.
You walked outside to pick up your post from the post box, and that was it. My goodness. Right, Chris, today we are doing Run from 2020, a Hulu original film that has found its way onto Netflix. It's directed by Anish Chagunti, who you might also know directed Searching. Now, I haven't watched Searching, but I have only heard good things about it. I know you've watched Searching. It's the film where it's all from the perspective of like a laptop and phone cameras and things like that.
Oh, that, yeah. When you said Searching, and you're like, I know you've watched Searching, I was thinking, what the hell is Searching? But yes, okay, I have watched that film where the guy's daughter goes missing, and that is actually a very good movie.
Yeah, it's been on my radar, but I've never gotten around to watching it. But it makes a change that you've seen it and you liked it. So yeah, same guy that did that has done Run. It stars Kira Allen and Sarah Paulson as a mother and daughter duo. Chris, it's on Netflix right now. We've both watched it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the film? Because this was a recommendation from you.
I liked the film. When it came to Netflix, I initially had no intention of watching it. I saw it and I thought, oh, I've seen this type of setup before where it's the quote-unquote sick child and the over-caring mother who in reality is possibly keeping the child sick to keep them with them to look after them. I've seen that in loads of films, so I wasn't interested in watching this until my girlfriend said, okay, I'm going to watch this. I thought, fine, we'll watch it. And then I was glad we watched it. We got all the way through and I was like, wow, this was actually quite good. One of the better attempts of that particular storyline I've seen in a while. I've seen some other ones that are much weaker than this, but this had good acting. The storyline was simple to follow and also had some very sort of thrilling and gripping moments. There's a particularly good scene where the daughter's pulling herself around the house without the use of her wheelchair, which I'm sure we'll come to. It's all very good. And I came away not disappointed with the film.
No, yeah, like you said, Netflix do have a huge amount of thrillers on their service, and most of them are a bit schlocky and not great. I draw you to examples such as Secret Obsession and Fatal Affair, but this just goes to show that if you've got people under budget working on the film, that you can turn a relatively simple, if overdone, premise into something that's really good. And this is obviously a lot better than some of the cheaper, almost made-for-TV films that Netflix sometimes do have. But no, yeah, I really enjoyed this. It's made me want to watch Searching a bit more. Yeah, shall we get into the premise of it, or do you want to talk about more things that you liked about it? Because it's shot well.
It is, but my biggest surprise is that you enjoyed it. I thought you were not going to like this. I thought you were going to be poking all sorts of holes and stuff. I'm sure there are holes and plot flaws in it and that lot. But I really didn't think you was going to have that much of a positive review about it, especially when you said my notes for this aren't long. I thought you was going to be like, your notes just like, it's shit, and that's it. So it fills my heart with warmth that you enjoyed the movie.
My notes are quite short, mostly because the film didn't irritate me. If it had irritated me to the point that I had a vendetta against it, then yeah, my notes would have been long. But the difference between this and other pseudo thrillers on Netflix are that this goes for a tense atmosphere and it actually hits it. Other films go for a tense atmosphere and they just end up being frustrating because the characters and the situations that they're in are so flimsy that it just makes me want to pull my hair out while I'm watching it. But this is two smart characters in a battle of wits trying to outmaneuver the other one in this deadly game of cat and mouse, and it pulls off the tension, and it didn't frustrate me at all. That it wasn't me going, why the fuck haven't they just called the police or anything like that, or why haven't they just left? It's built well, and the characters are well written to a point. There is one bit of the film that slightly niggles at me, but we can get into that a bit later, and it is only one bit, and well, it is an important bit, but we can get onto it a bit later. So, plot, Chris, what's going on? What's the mystery in this film?
Well, the plot follows 17-year-old Chloe Sherman, and her mother, Diane Sherman, a single mum. She lives on her own. The premise of the film is that it's set up that Chloe was born quite prematurely, and she's got a lot of health issues growing up. She's has to use a wheelchair to get around, and she's got various other health problems, diabetes, etc. And then her mother is very caring and looks after her and does sort of everything with her. And Chloe's ready to go to college. She's got her application sent off, and she's excited, and she's waiting for them to respond, but they're not responding yet. However, Chloe comes to suspect that her mother may not be being entirely truthful with her. In fact, it turns out her mother has been poisoning her to sort of keep her ill, has been hiding her letters from her colleges that she's been accepted into. But there's an even darker twist to the film, in that Chloe is not actually her daughter, and that Diane, she had a premature baby who passed away because of just how premature she was, and she then kidnaps Chloe, a relatively healthy baby, from the hospital and sort of raises her as her own whilst keeping her sick enough that she relies on her.
Couple of twisty layers, aren't there, to the film?
There are, yeah. I like that twist about how Chloe's not even her actual daughter, and it's one that she's kidnapped. Because normally in these films, the kid is the child of the adult that's keeping them sick. Whereas this adds just an extra little twist in it, just for another, oh damn. And it helps you sort of, it reinforces the point of how evil and unstable this Sarah Paulson's character Diane actually is, and how far she's willing to go to sort of have this mother-daughter relationship that she's craving.
We never get an insight into who Sarah Paulson's partner was, the father of her child, because he's not seen in the film at all. But my niggle with the film, it comes at the epilogue when Chloe has managed to outsmart her, well, not mother, but outsmart Diane. And there's a time jump, and it's 7 years later. Diane has been put into this prison hospital place, and it turns out that Chloe is now poisoning Diane. Now, I get that it's meant to be like a taste of your own medicine kind of thing, but Diane's backstory as the antagonist of the film, it's kind of like a sympathetic villain. She is bad and she has done terrible things, but she wasn't in really the right state of mind. She had just lost a child, and she was probably going through some sort of depression and post-traumatic stress and postnatal depression and stuff. And she went and stole a child. Not good, but I think that bit was bad because of Diane's backstory, and also, secondly, bad because I didn't think the character of Chloe would go that dark after 7 years. I thought it would have been better if Diane had died at the hospital in the shootout, or Chloe just got on with her life and stopped looking back at Diane. I felt it was out of character for Chloe to go all dark and revengey.
Okay, yep, that's fair enough. But maybe this shows how psychologically damaging this was to Chloe as well. And maybe Chloe doing this to her mother is sort of her way, like it's almost like Chloe's coping mechanism of what happened to her.
It could be.
And, I mean, it's a very dark way to go about doing it, and it's a very messed up way. But also, if this Chloe, she's visiting her mother at the end of the film in this sort of, like I said, prison hospital, and she's smuggling drugs that she's dosing up her mother with to keep her ill. Do none of the medical staff clock onto this?
You'd have thought
surely
so.
they must run tests and go, hang on a minute, she's got a high amount of this in her blood. How is this medicine getting into her?
You'd have thought so, wouldn't you? But yeah, that's the only niggle I had with the film. And if you wanted to go dark and say it is Chloe's way of revenge, but I don't think you needed it. I think it would have been much more satisfying if Diane had been shot at the end, because that's also a little wobbly. It's not a bad thing that she's still alive, but I think the ending didn't work for me, and that's the last thing that you see of the film is the ending, so I'm a little wobbly on it.
Yeah, okay. I mean, they could have achieved the same ending after Diana is shot in the hospital. She gets shot as she's trying to sort of steal Chloe back again. And she could have been shot, and the 7 years could have gone past, and she could have still been in the same situation in the hospital, sort of bedridden, and that could have just been an after effect of where the bullet hit her.
Or the fall down the stairs, or something like that.
Any of that.
I think that the shootout wasn't greatly handled, because there were 3 security guards, all with guns, and Diane only gets shot once after she turns the gun on the security guards, shouts at them, "We're going home," and then only 1 bullet hits her. I think if, in a real situation, she's pointing a gun at a hostage, then she turns it onto the security guards. As soon as the gun moved towards them, all 3 of them would have shot her to bits. So I think that was a little dodgy as well.
Perhaps they're just very well trained security guards who have probably never fired a weapon before in a real confrontation.
How restrained would you be if you had a gun and somebody else had a gun and they pointed that gun at you, threateningly?
Do you know what? I think I'd be in too much of a panic to even take the safety off the gun.
Would you just throw the gun?
Let alone fire it. I would just throw the gun at them, screaming, fall to the floor, start crying.
Take it, and then clocks her on the bridge of the nose and she stumbles back down the stairs.
Exactly. No one would be like, yes, my plan worked. That was my goal all along, I swear.
No, look, the ending aside, like I said, it is a battle of wits between these 2 characters, and I like that. Are there any standout bits in, like, the escaping that Chloe does, or Diane is like... I like the bit where she's, like, practicing how she's going to weasel her way out of this situation when Chloe's asking about the drugs that she's been taking that turn out to be for vet uses, and if used on a person it can make them have numb legs. So is there any of that cat and mouse game that stands out to you in particular?
I mean, there's loads of it throughout the film, and I enjoyed all of it, but there is those 2 standout scenes for me anyway. There's the scene what you said about where she's talking to the pharmacist asking about this drug, and just before that she convinces her mum to take her to the cinema, and then she says, I need to go to the toilet or something like that, and she leaves the cinema screen, and that's when she tries to nip across the road to the pharmacist. That whole scene, I was very like, oh my god, is she going to do this in time? Surely her mum's going to clock she's not come back and go looking for her. And then the second scene that I thought was even better is where she's realised her mum's been drugging her, and her mum locks her in her bedroom. Now Chloe wakes up, her mum's gone out, and the door's locked in that lock. And Chloe goes through this ordeal of having to sort of climb up her bedroom window, climb around the side of the house and back in through another window, then sort of unlock her door from the outside and get her chair and herself downstairs. There's a gate in a way because there's a stair lift that goes up and down the stairs. And she has to throw herself sort of over that. And I thought that whole scene of her trying to get out of the house was very good. And, that's the whole thing of the thriller. That's what you want. So those 2 really are the 2 standout scenes. In fact, you know what? There's a third standout scene when she does escape and she encounters her postman, and she's trying to plead with her postman, to help take me away. And then the mum turns up and it's like, oh my God. And it's, all of it is done very, very well.
That scene with the postman is undercut, I feel, because the postman is apparently the slowest man in the world. He's got no sense of urgency about him or anything. He's just like, okay.
He's just trying to keep the situation calm, isn't he? He sees Chloe, she's bleeding from the head. She's obviously been hurt. She's like, my mum's doing this. He's like, holy crap. Her mum turns up. He's like, all right, I've got to remain calm. I've got to keep, because he doesn't know what state of mind the mum's in. She might, she does attack him. And that's probably what he was fearing. So if he's to believe what Chloe was saying, and the mum's unstable, so he's taking it slow, keeping it calm. And I say it works, it doesn't work. He ends up getting seen killed.
There's slow and there's glacial. That's how this guy's just, he's got no sense of urgency about him or anything. I don't know. Oh, not even a proper postie because he wasn't wearing shorts. I mean, that might just be a British thing because all posties wear shorts in the UK. Never trust a postie that doesn't have shorts on, Chris.
Oh, that's how you can spot a fake when they don't like got a pack of shorts and you'll be like, you're wearing trousers, get off my property.
Yeah, this guy is not wearing shorts. A postman with shorts on would have shown a bit more gusto in that situation because he wouldn't have wanted to be out of the van so long because, you know, there was probably a breeze going up his shorts and into his nether regions. That's how they hit those targets, Chris, how they post everything in such short time because they don't want to be outside because of the cold and their shorts.
Out in the cold.
So there you go.
Do you know, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, so that's why he's so docile about it, because he's like, I can take my time, I've got my warm trousers on.
Exactly. So, pro survival tip for the postman, because the postman's the only one that gets killed. I know Diane says that he's just asleep, but he's dead, isn't he? She's chopped him up and buried him in the garden somewhere.
Yeah, he's definitely dead, isn't he? Because why would she just knock him out? Because he's going to wake up and be like, holy crap, I need to call the police. This woman drugged me and is like doing whatever, or God knows what, to her daughter. So yeah, he's definitely dead. And that actually leads to a good scene afterwards where she kills the postman, takes Chloe back to the house, and she's got Chloe in the basement. Chloe's chair's chained up, so if she wants to move, she's got to get out of the chair and crawl. And her mum's there bringing all this equipment and is sort of making a homemade concoction. It's going to not kill Chloe, but I guess sort of put her into like a semi-coma or something.
I think it's to paralyse her fully in a way, to put her into a state of like a sort of locked-in syndrome or something like that to fully paralyse her, I think.
Oh, but they're fully conscious, so you just can't move or anything.
Yeah, I think that's what
that would suck.
She was going for, but yeah, then we get cutaways to her dragging, I'm assuming, the postman into a different room, and there's packed bags and stuff, so Diane's planning an escape to somewhere where they don't know her and Chloe, and you got to wonder how many times that Diane's done this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether it's mentioned in the film about, I don't think there's any throwaway lines as of Chloe going, this is the 8th time we've moved in like 5 years or something.
No.
So I think they've been pretty settled where they have been for a while.
Yeah, and that might be because it's a sort of out-of-the-way town. It sort of looks to me like a town that time forgot. It's not run down, it's just stuck in a certain period of time, so that's probably why Diane picked it, because it's in the middle of nowhere, probably, and far away from the hospital where she stole Chloe from originally.
I suspect it's very far away from there. It's like, no, it's only 2 miles down the road. It's fine.
The perfect place to hide, right under everybody's nose.
Exactly. And then this scene where Diane is built his concoction to paralyze Chloe permanently or do more to her. And then Chloe drags herself into like a store closet. And smart play by Chloe here. She downs a load of chemicals, because she knows that while Diane may want to sort of do all this stuff to her and paralyze her, she does not want to kill Chloe. She wants Chloe alive. She wants Chloe to be there to care for forever. Chloe downs all these chemicals, knowing it's going to force her mum to take her to a hospital. That was a risky but smart play.
Yeah, ballsy. And again, it's the one-upsmanship of how far they're willing to go and brains versus brains and this game of chess that they're both playing, and it's a smartish move because it does mean that Chloe's in hospital, and it puts the control of the narrative into Diane's hands, who claims that Chloe was attempting to commit suicide, and then I'm assuming Diane causes a medical emergency to draw away the nurses and doctors from Chloe to go and sort that out, so Diane can steal Chloe again from the hospital.
What was Diane thinking at this point, though? Because let's say that she does create this medical emergency, she gets people's attention, and she takes Chloe. Obviously, the nurses come back, it shows this, they go, where the hell's Chloe? She wasn't able to get out of here on her own, somebody's obviously moved her. And then at this point, the security get involved, and they stop Diane. Had Diane got away, though, and she just vanished, there would have been, that what they call it, APB, out on her immediately, and I don't think she would have done, unless she found some very remote area and they survived off the land themselves. I don't think she would have gone more than a month, at least, before they would have found her.
Well, she stole a child from a hospital and she managed to make it 17 years without being found out, so in her mind, she probably did it once, she'll do it again, sort of thing, so... Yeah.
But when she stole the baby, and obviously they would have clocked the baby's missing, but they don't know who stole it. This time round, Chloe goes missing. They would know it's the mum. They have her, what I assume is her real contact information. Her name is Diane Sherman, assuming she hasn't changed it. So they would know who took the person this time, so surely they would find her a lot easier.
Yeah. The police must have suspected Diane in the first place, although it's hard to say how they initially did the search for Chloe when she was taken as a baby, but yeah, it's not a thing that bugged me. Okay, any more survival tips for the postman, Chris?
Because he turns up, doesn't he? And he goes to take Chloe, and Diane's like, "Oh, just let me follow you to the hospital." And he's like, "Okay, fine, let me just load up Chloe." I would have been like, "No, be gone." I would have got my phone out and probably called 911 there, keeping Diane in my eyesight, making sure she didn't do anything sneaky.
Diane threatens the postman with calling 999 and going, "You're a strange, pervy-looking man. You were probably doing pervy things to my daughter, so I'll call the cops." And the postman, as cool as a glacier, Chris, and with all the urgency of a glacier, tells Diane that there's no reception out here. And then she's like, shit. So he couldn't have called the cops in the same way that Diane couldn't have called them on him.
Had there been reception, Diane's plan would have backfired horribly. She would have called the police. The police would have come out, and then...
Yeah, but I think she would have backed out of that threat before it would have gotten that far, because she wouldn't have wanted the police involved, so she would have folded before the postman folded.
Okay, and then maybe he would have been like, "Yeah, you call it," and she'd be getting her phone out like, "Oh, just got to get out of my car," and then she pulls out her gun or whatever, because she has a gun there. But I think she uses it's a needle to the neck, isn't it? She sort of injects the policeman, the post office worker with.
Yeah, it was a weird one, because I was expecting the bang and the cheap jump scare from the loud noise, but no, they went needle, and then she probably shot him in the head when they were back at home or something like that. So yeah, it's a bit of a twist, and then the gun comes into play at the hospital.
Yeah, after Diane takes Chloe, and then she, like you said, she's at the top of some stairs, and then the security there, she pulls the gun out, one of them shoots her and she falls down the stairs, and then Chloe is saved as a result.
Again, 3 of them, only 1 shot, I think. As soon as she looked at them with anger and hate in her eyes, that they would have all probably shot at her. I wouldn't have taken that risk.
Do you think, no, maybe they were worried they were going to hit Chloe or something?
I don't think that's the case, because Chloe sat down a couple of steps away from Diane, and it's not like Diane is using Chloe as a human shield, so I don't buy that.
Okay, well, maybe the first one shot and it made the other 2 nervous, and they didn't shoot. These security guards have probably never had to fire their gun in live combat before. They've only been down the target range.
Then why the fuck are they carrying them if they can't use them properly?
Because it's America.
Oh, of course.
All the security guards carry guns.
And some of the doctors.
Oh, God.
I found it weird as well that they had radios and that they tannoyed over the loudspeaker. "There's a situation, all the security get there, but do it quickly because the person that's escaping can probably hear this as well." Why not radio the security guards? Why broadcast it?
I don't know, maybe, again, it could have been maybe the PA announcer was her first day on the job, and they've got this probably one of the most dangerous situations to deal with, and they're like, holy shit, what do I do? And they've got their radio and they're trying to fiddle the little dials, and there's sweat everywhere, and they're like, fuck this, I just got to push a big button, I can broadcast to the whole hospital. Terrible idea. Also, after Diane has fallen down the stairs, there are just random patients and visitors to the hospital just walking down the stairs past Chloe, who's sat at the top of the stairs watching as her mother falls down. There are just random people walking past, going down the same stairs. Why?
Why?
Oh, there's people have their lives to lead. You can't stop and wait because a crazed person has been shot and fallen down some stairs.
The whole of that side was empty until the gunshots, and then they just come.
Everybody
and
came
have
running.
A goggle. Bloody hell! Get some perspective.
Normally, when it's a gunshot, you run away from it, don't you?
No, these people wanted to see what was going on and run down the stairs to ogle a body.
I definitely believe at least 2 or 3 of them probably pulled out their phones, and there was pictures of Diane's, shot body already posted online within a few minutes.
Yeah.
You have to get those views and likes.
Don't do that. If there's an incident, call the police. Don't start taking selfies. Don't be silly. Come on, be reasonable. Yeah, be reasonable and sensible like the postman, but with a bit more urgency.
Do you think the postman's been like that his whole life? Just every situation. He's probably had loads of guns and faces and stuff. Of people trying to steal all these parcels from him at Christmas. And he's like, it's okay, it's cool. I'm wearing trousers. Everything was going to be fine.
It's cool. Like, everyone that's against him has been wearing shorts and really hyper. It's like, no, relax. You got time and coverage over your ankles.
These packages will get there when they get there.
Yeah.
Everything will be fine.
Anyway, here is your parcel. Just drops it. It shatters. No, good stuff. This is all right. It's brisk as well, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. Anything else to add about Run, Chris, or are we done?
No, I think it's an excellent film. It's shot well, like you said. The acting and the casting is done very well. Sarah Paulson can pull off a crazed mother quite convincingly, which is always good. Does the film have rewatch value? Maybe, but the problem is with thrillers especially, it takes attention out of it when you know what's going to happen, because there's no, is she going to be able to do it? Because it's like, yeah, I know she does it.
Yeah, there's also not a massive enough twist that if you went back and watched it again, that, there are some films that are like, so maybe I can follow the breadcrumbs to the twist, and then you see it like that, but it doesn't have that. But it's competently enough made and well acted. So good stuff. Do you want to riff about the postman anymore, or shall we end it there?
No, I think the postman's still alive, and he's fine. He probably woke up buried underground and went, it's cool, everything's fine. And he climbed out and finished off deliveries for that day.
Yeah, maybe he's got something in his hat that stopped Diane shooting him in the head. So she thought she'd killed him, but I don't know, maybe there was a Bible stuffed into his hat or a bulletproof vest in there somewhere.
He'd watched Army of the Dead and clocked on about that metal helmet thing a zombie had.
Exactly, so he put it in his hat. Then he dug himself out of the shallow grave that Diane dug him in, and he escaped and went on to deliver the rest of his post.
So happy ending for most of the characters.
Yeah. Well, we survived as the postman, so a happy ending for everyone.
That is true. Well, I think I've pretty much covered all I want to in the film. Have you got anything else?
No, I told you, my notes were very short, and we have reached the end of them, and for once, I think we've comprehensively covered them, because sometimes I finish one of these and go, oh shit, I missed a whole section of notes.
That's what happens, see? Minimal notes, we could cover everything. It's all nicely done. It's all wrapped up in a lovely, caring package. Now take your pills, dear.
I thought you were going to say, now, give it to the slowest postman in the world. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that could have been... Oh, no. Okay, yeah, you went that one.
Yeah, my goodness, Chris. Anyway, deliver us a delightful outro. And, oh no, you can post things to us via the email, can't you, Chris? I almost missed it, but I got...
Oh, but...
I almost missed it. Yes, deliver us delicious letters, wecould survive@gmail.com, or tweet us at wecould no postman required. Although if you send an email or a tweet to us wearing shorts, it will get to us quicker, won't it? That's scientifically proven.
That is proven. Shorts do equal quick.
Yes, exactly. Next week, Chris, I'm not sure what we're going to do, but we're going to do something.
Oh, that sounds exciting. I'm going to go on Netflix now and find the worst film I possibly can. Actually, I have found one of the worst films on Netflix. It's called Fear.com. If we find nothing else, watch Fear.com and you're going to hate it, and you can spend a whole 30 minutes screaming at me on the next show.
Why can't we just do more shows like this where we gently riff off of a postman?
Well, I mean, if you want to find out, there's probably a film or a series that's all about the struggles and the day-to-day lives of post people.
Should we do Postman Pat the movie?
Yes, okay, Postman Pat the movie. God, I've not watched that in years. Just Postman Pat in general. I've never actually seen the movie, but now I will.
I always get the Postman Pat theme confused with Fireman Sam. I know they're different, but I can never remember one of them, and I don't know which one. And I'm not going to, improve myself by finding out which one is which.
Okay, fair enough. Well, in that case then, are we good for the outro?
I've wanted you to end it since we started, Chris, if I'm honest.
Oh, well, thank you to everybody who's been listening to We Could Survive That, your weekly survival guide to the movies. We're going to see you next week for a yet undisclosed feature. So until then, keep on surviving, and goodbye.